Good morning and welcome to our community affairs program that we call 30 Minutes. Today our special guest is Obion County Public Library Director, Miss Carolina Connor. It's always a pleasure to have her on the program talking about the many programs and activities that are going on at the public library. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. I love coming to talk about the library.
You have so much going on over there.
Always.
Year-round.
Year-round,
Yeah.
Yes. Summer's definitely our busy season, but there's stuff to be doing every day, Monday through Saturday, that is, at the library, since we're closed on Sunday.
It's been several months since we've had an opportunity to talk to you, and I knew that summer programs are big for you, but again, as you said, you're doing something year-round over there, and the public needs to have knowledge of that and know that, because a lot of programs I know that you have are focused toward the children, the young kids, and you want them in the doors of the library.
Absolutely. We want to definitely establish that love for books and reading and, even establishing the library as a safe place. So as they go through their life, if they need a place to, in our tours, I've actually just been telling people that they can come use the bathroom at the library. It's a free public restroom. I have family members. We live 20 minutes out of town. They get out of school. They got to go to the bathroom. You can use the library for the bathroom, So we really just strive to be a place where you can come and just hang out if you need a place to, it encompasses the third place mindset of just somewhere to be when you need to kill time.
And Obion County is so fortunate to have the library that they have. That's a wonderful place.
Yes, we are so fortunate.
It's more than a library.
It's absolutely more than a library. It can be a community center. Mm-hmm. It can be somebody's office. It can be what you need it to be, really and truly. We've got the walking trail out back. If you need some exercise on a pretty day, come walk around the walking trail for 7 laps is a mile. Or you need to spend your lunch break. We've had several people since the weather's gotten nice taking their lunch out on the patio and having lunch on the, it's just a nice place to come and be for an hour or so.
A lot more than just a place to get a book. And you also have the ability to host trainings and meetings and events like that in your rooms there to the side.
Yeah, my favorite question is, what do you got going on in the library today? Why are all them cars in the parking lot?
Yeah.
And most of the time it's that meeting room space that we're able to offer to, not just people in the community, like the Historical Society met recently. So those kinds of things, but also, like you said, work trainings, Promethean.
Yes.
Promethean has some of their trainings there.
Emergency assistance.
Emergency assistance. We've had TEMA and FEMA in there before. Yeah. So we're just really grateful that we have a place that's large enough to accommodate.
Yeah, job fairs. You've had job fairs there before also,
yep.
too, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. It's a wonderful place located on
1221 East Reelfoot Avenue in Union City.
Yes. As we do each week before we start the program, we like to let our guests introduce themselves, so I'm going to turn that over to you, Carolina.
Sure. So, Carolina Connor, I'm local to the area, have been here since I was 5 years old, a 2005 graduate from Obion County Central, and, just love being a part of this community and being able to give back to the community that helped raise me is really important to me. So I'm glad to be able to do that through the library.
So how long have you been the director at the library now?
I have been the director for almost 5 years. I started as director in July of 2020. I did start at the library before that. I kind of worked my way up. I started in a part-time position in 2011 and, just worked my way all the way to director. So
didn't you tell me one time in a previous program that you actually started at the library while you were attending college, right?
I did, to get my undergraduate degree from UT Martin. That was a university studies degree that I got in 2013, and then right after I got that degree, a full-time position came open at the library. So Michelle Barnes, our previous director, hired me in the reference librarian position.
So you had plenty experience there at the library. What about continuing education for your position? Have you had to do anything like that?
Sure. So I always work on continuing education. We have a great setup for, through our regional library system, they offer continuing education for all of our staff. So we're always well educated on trends and what we can be doing better for the community. But I also just recently, last year, obtained my master's degree from UT Knoxville in it's information sciences, which makes me feel like a nerd and I should put my glasses up on my nose. But information sciences is what they've changed library sciences to. So I started working on that at the end of 2020, and I took a class every semester for 4 years, and I'm grateful to be done with that, and I do not plan on going back to school for anything else.
So is that a requirement for your job, for your position?
It's highly suggested. Tennessee State Library and Archives has a standards booklet for each level of library. Levels range from 1 to 5, and it is based on your population area. So we are technically a level 4 library because we serve a little over 30,000, being the Obion County Public Library. We serve the whole county. And for a level 4 library, it is recommended that the director have a master's degree in library.
For those who may be new to the community or listening for the first time and have not heard your program before, give us a little hash over of the library, what you have to offer, your days of operation, and what
Sure.
you provide to the public.
So the library is open Monday through Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday are 9 to 7:30. Wednesdays are 9 to 6. Fridays are 9 to 5, and Saturdays we're open 9 to 3:30. We're available. Some of the services that don't really get thought about with a library, obviously you think about books, movies, magazines, but we also we make copies if you need them. They're 10 cents for black and white, 50 cents for color. We can fax documents for you for $1 a page. We also provide a free notary service, which that has become kind of hard for people. They go to banks a lot, and a lot of times the banks will send them to the library. So just knowing that we have a notary on staff just about any time we're open. So if you need a notary, you can come to the library. It's a free service. We also give the boating exam. It's getting pretty out. A lot of people are needing to get that boating license. So if you go and you buy the permit at Walmart for $10, then you come to the library, and there are 3 of us there that can give the test. You might want to call before you come just to make sure that one of us is there and can give it when you're wanting to come. And we also have the books to study for. A lot of people don't study beforehand. They think they can just come in and take it, and that's not usually the case. You are able to take it twice in a day, and then if you happen to not pass either of those times, then you can come back the next day and take it 2 more times until you pass.
But read the book.
But do yourself a favor, come get the book first, then take the test, and you'll probably have better luck.
Your computer section is pretty big at the library, isn't it?
Yes, that section is well trafficked. We have about 40 patron computers that can be accessed. 2 of those are handicap accessible with desks that move up and down. And we have Chrome operating systems and also Windows operating systems.
Is there a charge for people to use the computers?
Absolutely not. And there used to be, we used to have the policy that you needed to have a library card to use the computers. We've kind of gotten away from that. If you need to use the computer, all you have to do is come in, sit down, put your name in, and it gives you a 2-hour window where you can be on the computer. And if you need more time, we're happy to give it to you. But that just keeps it from getting kind of stopped up if we're having a busy day. We also have laptops on site. So during the pandemic, we were able to purchase a few laptops specifically for Zooming meetings. So we have a couple of older patrons whose family didn't live here, and so they would come and we would set them up in one of our study rooms, and they'd be able to Zoom with their family, and just make those connections. And then also any telehealth appointments that come up, that's become a thing since COVID. And so we're able, if you don't have a device at home that you're able to do that on, you can come to the library. We'll get you set up. We'll get you in a study room so it's private. And you're able to have those conversations.
Wow, I've never heard that before. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a nice service to be able to provide.
Yes, I know both of them are important, but the aspect you said there of getting to see their family members,
sure,
like that.
To me, libraries are all about connection. Period. Reading builds empathy, which can connect you to a story that you might not understand from your own personal experience. It puts you in the shoes of somebody else. We have patrons come in all the time that they just need that human connection. So to me, that at the very base of everything, the library is about connection, and it creates a place for it. And, I think our world is a better place because of libraries.
And you mentioned to me one time before the people who actually use the computers to apply for jobs.
Oh, yeah. You can come in, you can work on your resume, you can apply for jobs. Now, I will say, as library staff, we're not allowed to put any of your personal information in. So we can't sit down with you and actually put it in for you, but we will help you as much as we possibly can. The workforce is something that needs help, and it's really hard to navigate sometimes. So even just having a physical presence there to be like, yes, you can click that. Yes, that, a lot of times that's what we're providing when people are filling out those applications and things.
So people are there to assist you with the computers, just like if you come in looking for a specific book.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Our job is people at the end of the day. My goal for the library, and, I've told my staff, I want to be the place where people come to find the answers. Even if we're not able to immediately give them an answer, we're going to find out where you can go to get that answer. We even keep a book of where to go for things at our front desk. So we try to be prepared for whatever situation might come.
What if someone comes in and wants to read a specific book, maybe something that's just come out or something like
sure.
that? If you don't have it, do you get that?
So if it's a new book, absolutely, I will put it on the order. I am in charge of the ordering at the library. But as I've said, it is it's a group project ordering, because, I'm always taking in input, not just from staff, but from patrons. Obviously, your taxpayer dollars are what's going to fund the library. So I want to make sure that if there's a book that you want to read, we're getting that book for you. So how I do that is if you come in and you want a book and it's new, absolutely we can, as long as you have a library card, we can put it in our system that you have requested this book, and then when it comes in, you'll be the first to get it if nobody's in front of you. If the book is kind of older or the company that we order from doesn't have the book, we do have a program that is statewide called Interlibrary Loan, which is where we may not have the book, but if another library somewhere in the state does have the book, we can borrow it from them. And then, so there's a courier service across the state that takes library books from one library to another, and then you get to check it out. I got a text message from a friend that I went to, it's called PLMI, Public Library Management Institute, which I also graduated from while I was doing my master's. It was a lot. Anyway, I'm super qualified to be your director, just so you know. But she recently sent me a picture. She had gone to her library, which is in Middle Tennessee. And she said, "Thanks for the book, friend," because the stamp on top showed her that it was from Obion County. So that was really cool to obviously I know we're sending the books out, but it's fun to know that there's a friend in Middle Tennessee that I was able to get a book for.
Does that book circle around and come back to you?
Yes.
The one you lend out comes back.
Mm-hmm. So it's still part of our collection. But so then we get that checkout, and then their library gets that checkout as well. So it really is a great partnership across the state with all the libraries.
So in the electronic world that we live in now with our devices and phones and desktops, there are still many who hold that book and read that book.
Yes, absolutely. But you can always branch out, and your library actually has an app called Libby that will allow you to borrow books that are electronic. I do a lot of audiobooks through Libby, and it's the same setup of you have a library card, you can check out the books or magazines or audiobooks, and you actually don't even have to remember to give those back. They just take them back from you in 2 or 3 weeks. And but I was telling somebody the other day that has really, during COVID, they made it possible to just enter a phone number in. They wanted people to read, and we weren't open. So they made it possible for people to use just their phone number as like their library card number. And that was great. It got people back into reading when they didn't have anything else to do. Well, Libby is not taking that phone number anymore. So now people are really having to reach out and, do I have a library card? It's saying my library card isn't working. So it started those conversations about, the local library on that level. And I was looking at our numbers a couple weeks ago, and we have had already, so we operate on a fiscal year, so we'll be done June 30. And already this year, we're over 30,000 checkouts just on the Libby app by itself. So, I want you to come into the library, absolutely. But you can also support the library just by using your Libby app.
That has really turned out big, because I remember when I did a news story, or we did something about the introduction of this Libby to the library. So this has turned out well for you.
Oh, absolutely. It's in your pocket. It's everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You can just, if you're at a doctor's appointment, you can just pull out your phone. You can look through a magazine on your phone rather than touching maybe the dermy ones at the doctor's office.
And you've mentioned the word several times already, library cards.
Yes.
You want people to have those library cards.
I want you to have a library card. There's no reason not to. It's free. It's free. If you work, live, or own property in Obion County, it is a free card. If you don't happen to meet any of those 3 things, it's $20 a year. And that's, just for the taxpayer aspect. But you are paying for the library already. That's what your dollars are going to. So I would love for everyone in Obion County to find some way to make the library work for them, just so that they're getting their money's worth. Now, we have, I did look at our numbers of visitors too when I was looking at that Libby number. And last fiscal year, it looked like we averaged about 1,000 visitors a week, which is great.
That's a big number.
But, you can always improve. Yeah. So if you haven't found a way to make the library work for you, come in and have a conversation with one of us, and we'll figure out what's there for you to enjoy.
It is summertime, and I know summer's a busy time for you, and
yes.
Children are out of school. What's going on at the library this summer?
All the things. All the things.
All the things.
So we are definitely in summer reading prep mode. Each year there is a theme that goes along with our summer reading program. This year's theme is art-based, and so the theme is Color Our World. We're really leaning into that. We are partnering with the fair. Any craft classes that you do at the library that you create something that can be entered into the fair, we're going to keep it there. We're going to enter it for you, and all you'll have to do is pick up if you win anything and your
so it will be in the exhibits building then, huh?
Yeah. So I'm so excited about that partnership. That's just community building on community, and it just falls into the summer reading program perfectly. So we're going to have multiple craft classes where we're just going to put out everything we got, and you come and make and paint and glue and glitter to your heart's content. So we've got a lot of those craft classes happening for adults and children and teens.
Really? For everyone?
All ages, yeah. So the summer reading program, while we get more children than anybody else, it's for everyone. So summer reading program, the events and things are everything that the library does. But then on the other hand, there's also the reading portion where we want you to read, to get points, to get prizes. So for every minute you read, you get a point, and that may be just for the children. It may be every 3 minutes you get a point as an adult. We do like to make it a little more difficult for the adults. But for every minute you read, you get a point, and then it's kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese system where you've got your points and here's your prizes, and you go in and you spend your points how you want to. It can be done on an app. The app is called Read Squared. And we're hoping that on our kickoff, May 31st, to get a lot of people signed up for the summer reading program, which is the one where you read the things and get the prizes. That day, May 31st, from 10:30 to 12:30, we are going to have Mr. Nick's Dino Crew from the Memphis area come in. He's going to be doing his dino show, and we're also going to have a petting zoo set up in the back of the library. And I feel like I have to mention those programs are supported by our friends of the library who do the fundraising for any of the programs and things that we might have come up throughout the year.
Pre-registration for those who are going to take part in the summer programs. Mm-hmm. Do you need that?
Yes, it just helps. It makes sure that you get started when you can, but you can register at any point during the summer. The summer reading program is going to run from May 31st to July 19th. So plenty of time to get some reading in. And the thing about having the app to keep up with your reading is even if you're on vacation, you can log those minutes. It makes it more accessible. When I first started as a children's coordinator, that was in 2015. You wrote it down on a slip of paper and turned it in every week, and people lost the paper, and things went awry. And so by having this app, and the state of Tennessee pays for this app, it's not something that comes out of the library's pocket, which is also nice. The state library and archives pays for it. But again, it just makes it easier and more accessible for you to log those minutes, get those points, to potentially get those incentives. And some kids thrive on being able to get an incentive, and some kids thrive on just racking up points. But either way, we want to build on that. And I mean, I want a prize. I don't get the prizes, obviously. I can't really participate. But, we've got everything from stickers to fishing poles. We have a wide variety of prizes to choose from. Puzzles. I love a puzzle. Journals, art kits. We've just got something for everybody, really.
Are these programs daily or so many days a week, or how do you do
Well, I was looking at our calendar, and it looks like for children, every Tuesday in June, there's going to be some type of art class. And you can find these calendars on our website, oclibrary.org, under events and summer reading. You'll be able to find the calendars for the children, teen, and adult activities. So for children, every Tuesday in June is going to be some type of art class. We're going to offer it at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. just in case, you can't get there. We're going to have story time every Wednesday at 10:30, which is a regularly occurring thing. That's not special for summer. We always have story time at 10:30 on Wednesdays. But Ashley is adding in it says craft craze at 11 a.m. So like I said before, we're just kind of going to put the things out there and let you craft away. We're going to have some movie nights. So those, it looks like every other week for movie nights. And then on the off weeks of that, we're going to have trivia nights, a Lego night. We're going to do a couple stories downtown in Merchants Park with Main Street. So that's on June 14th and July 12th, I do believe. But again, you can look at all this on our website or call or sign up for our newsletter, which you can also do on our website, oclibrary.org. Anyway, just lots of things going on. There's teen D&D. We're thinking about doing some flower bouquet classes, really just leaning into all kinds of arts. Penny for adults. She's always got an adult book club happening every second Monday at 5:30. So if you want to know what title book is happening for the month, just give us a call, 731-885-7000.
How many people do you have on staff to take care of all this?
Currently, we are a staff of 19.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, we have 8 full-time. So, but yeah.
So a lot of volunteer help, then you're saying, right?
We have some great teen volunteers. We encourage the community. If there are any people who need, we don't do court-ordered community service, but any other person looking for community service, we have that form on the website, or if you just want more information, you can call the library.
Fantastic. We are getting close to closing out today's program, but I do want to get this in because with all you have going on with the library, you are going to be over Fall Fest this year, correct?
Yes, so I'm serving as president of the Fall Fest board, and we have our dates set for that. The Fall Fest pageant is happening on September 6th. Ashley Phillips is the person in charge of that. So we're going to kick off the Fall Fest week with Fall Fest Family Day in the park at the library on the 25th of October. And we're changing the time on that. It's normally been in the morning, and we're going to try for an afternoon 2 to 5 type thing. I think with it being so close to Halloween, we're looking at maybe doing like a costume contest, and we'll have the chalk art, of course. So we're in the midst of planning all of these things. And then on the 27th is going to be the Fall Fest of Foods event, which has been a huge success the past 2 years. The women of the FCE are the ones that put all that together. It's at Second Baptist. It's fantastic. We're looking for the Pride Luncheon to be on October 29th. Same lunchtime deal at Discovery Park. And then we're going to finish up our week of Fall Fest fun on November 1st at the winery with Evening in the Vines.
That's great. That's great.
And any money that's raised during those events will go to help feed Obion Countyans through Chimes for Charity, Trudy's Kids Cafe, and Soul Food Cafe.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Before we close out, right quick, anyone needs to get in touch with you about anything at the library, they can call
731-885-7000.
Or drop in anytime.
Anytime.
Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday.
Well, Carolina, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. You always have a busy schedule, and we can probably do 60-minute programs.
Probably. We probably could. I'm telling you, I don't have...
dive into everything that you were doing there, but I do appreciate you keeping us up to date and what you do for the community. We thank you.
Sure. I love to be here. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out or stop by. And if I'm not there, one of my very helpful staff will be just ready and willing.
Thanks again. And that concludes this week's 30 Minutes program. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And, of course, we invite you to tune in again next week at this same time as we bring you topics and information of importance to our community. From all of us here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting, until we meet again next week, I'm Charles Choate.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.